it all starts with the container. You're setting the tone for the shape, for the look, for the feel, for the story, for the emotion by the container. How are you going to hold the stems in place? And that's the florist's secret. How are the stems going to stay in place? There's so many different ways. Floral foam, chicken wire, a taped grid. I've got a wire ball. You know, start looking at things around your house like, oh my gosh, that could be a kubari, because it's all about how to hold your stems in place. Because we are trying to marry the container with the flowers. We're going to break this horizontal line with either greenery or ribbon or flowers. We want some things to kind of hang over the side. We don't want it just to be upright, because we want the blooms to hang over the side. Do you see that I have broken the line of the container, and now it's already more interesting versus just sticking up like this? We already are starting to marry the flowers with the vase. The base of the vase is where the largest flower goes. This rose here. I love that. That's so fun. That's called reflexing. This large rose, which is our largest flower, and we're going to put it at the base of the vase because we want to add weight and the focal point to the base of the vase. And so if we do this little secret, this florist trick of putting something really big and a focal point down at the base of the vase, then we can go crazy with all these other stems and all these other things going on, and it's still going to feel balanced. Cut it short. We've got our weight, and we've married the container with our flowers. Focal dominant flower at the base of your vase. This is where we kind of determine what's the height of the design, what's the overall width of it. So we're going to add some stems that are going to give it some height. We're going to shoot for the stars. My florist tip here for shooting stars is you do not want bunny ears. You don't want to take two tall stems, line flowers, and have them at the same height, because you have like bunny ears. You got it looks like bunny ears. We want some variation. We always want one line flower. We want all of our flowers to be at different heights. So if I put two stems in that are line flowers, I'm going to put one a little higher than the other. See, now we've got some asymmetry going here. A very simple thing to do, but it has such an impact on your designs. Instead of a design just being like someone took hedge clippers and went and just shaved it and all the flowers are roundy moundy, they're all at one level, that's a look. But if you want something that has a little more interest into it, we're going to have some flowers tucked in and some flowers tucked out. This is kind of, I'm trying to see it's popping out and the rose is tucked in. So we're going to keep doing that. We're going to have things come out and things go back in. Here's a little trick. If you want to look less carnation-y and you want to look more like you picked it from the wildflower field, I'm going to take the greenery that's around the base of it here. I'm actually kind of, the reflexing technique we used earlier, I'm kind of reflexing it back and maybe even tearing it a little bit, not so much on purpose, but that's going to really open up the carnation, make it nice and floppy, but it's still intact. And then I'm going to take out the center. So I'm going to pinch out the center petals, or like a little wildflower. I'm going to do the same carnation. I'm going to tuck him in way back here. I've got him tucked behind the rose. And so when you look at it, you're like, oh, you know, I see this beautiful flower. And then you're like, your eye automatically is connecting the dots. So it's going to the other carnation, but it's tucked deep. And so it makes you kind of go, look into it and like, there's something going on there. So that's what floral design is. It's, you know, keeping the viewer interested, keeping the eye moving around the arrangement. We're having things pop out and we're having things come in, tucked in. So we have a shy flower, and then we have another flower that's like, hey, look at me. You know, you have that friend that's out there, but then you have that friend that's like, no, I'll just hang out back here and kind of watch it all happen. Same thing with florals. We're really just feeling where we want to put each thing. When you put one flower, that's going to dictate where the next flower goes. We're actually talking and listening to the flowers And from there, we're choosing which flower we want where. So we're gonna add some energy. I'm gonna add some of my energy, my vibe to this design. When you make a design, I want you to add your chi, your energy. What is that thing that really elevates the design? It doesn't make it just about flowers. It makes it about your style, your voice, or the story the design is telling. This is a must. If you are in the floral design season of your life, then you need wooden picks with little wires on them, because all you have to do is take a little wooden pick and your stem, and then you wrap it around, and instantly I have a nice long stem, and the dried flower won't be touching the water, which would deteriorate the stem. I love it, but it is giving a lot of visual weight to that side, so I feel like I need to add some visual weight to this side. They're nice and long, but if you want to make it shorter, it's just a snap away. Put him here. Okay, I'm just so happy because I did not plan this, and this is the way nature works. Magic happens. And the magic here is we have this cool thing going out this way, and then visually your eye goes all the way through the design because it connects the dots and it ends up here. So we have this really cool implied visual line that just makes all of this craziness more grounded. And so does our large mass flower, our rose right there, really makes it grounded too. This really gave it a lot of strength. And it makes me so happy when that happens, because it's like, wow, I had no idea that's how that would go. Adding your own energy, adding something a little different. So someone's like, wow, I thought those were grocery store flowers, but then when I really started to look at it, I saw some things that were a little different. Like, I wouldn't have, you have had some training. You are, you're above just a hobbyist because you're doing something a little different here. That's what we're trying to do. So we have really been concentrating on all this stuff up here. And so now this is our last chance to go, hey, what could I add to bring the eye back down to the, to the table? What could I do? These are just tips, things that anyone can do. Like, this is totally possible, and you could pick this up in a day. These are just 7 tips and tricks that anyone can pick up and learn and do. It's the last chance you have to ground your design, to make it really feel balanced, and to also give it visual balance, maybe any visual colors that we need to tie in. Like, I would love, because I see this, really pretty peachy color, I'd love to have something kind of peachy right here. Like a ribbon would be pretty too. Like a little ribbon would be really pretty. I don't have a ribbon, but I do have some more roses. So I call it terra firma, again, because our eye is going up, we're doing all this crazy stuff, but then let's go ahead and drop your eye down into the container. So visually their face, all flowers have a face, and so when you're putting in a flower in a vase, you want to ask, where's the face? Where's the face of the flower? Which way is it pointing out? And we want faces to be pointing out all different way. That's more natural to us, because if you had a crowd of people, would everyone be like facing exactly the same way? A little creepy, right? So the same thing with flowers. We want flowers to be facing all different ways, as if they're in a room, a party, they're having a good time, but they're all doing their own little thing. But these, because I want something to kind of drape over, I love the way these kind of just drape. And then I love how we tied in the peach color of the rose with some more peach here, because that again balances it. It's like I want things to be, I want to duplicate on both sides of the arrangement. So if I cut the arrangement in half, I want to duplicate things, but I don't want exact mirror images. I want to be pulling your eye through, but with something a little different. And that's what we've done here, is we've created this visual line. Your eye connects the purples together. It connects the fun dried element together. We have absolutely created just a really cool, fun, front-sided design. You can go 360, you can go front-sided. I mean, pulling out my color wheel that I made, that I came up with, and I will be talking about that and sharing my theory and my ideas on color design and how they apply to flowers, which is completely different than any other art form, because we have the unique thing of working with flowers that have so many colors. It's not just a single color like paint in a tube. Now, the last thing I like to do when I make a design and when we're in class is look at the design, and I ask each student to kind of come up with a name or an adjective or something like that. And yes, Holly, I do go live every week at the same time, 4 p.m. Eastern. So you can bring materials with you if you want. You can just hang out. You can do whatever you want. I will include a supply list. But really, it's just about giving yourself an hour to just kind of play with some flowers and learn some tips and tricks. And this does run for 24 hours, so you can watch the replay. Oh my gosh, Marilyn, hi. Hey, thanks for joining. We just went through this design, and the thing I was saying is, like, I always, when I complete a design and when we all complete our designs in a workshop, I ask each student to really look at their design and come up with a name, an adjective, a title, and then also some things that maybe they learned from it that surprised them, because there's always surprises. Every time you pick up flowers and you design with flowers, there's always something to be learned. So today, I would call this, I'm going to call it Tea Time in England, because it kind of looks like a little English cottage garden look. Chefs have a palette, right? Floral designers have an eye palette. We have a floral design palette, because every time you make a design, you really, and study it, you learn something new that you file away in your floral design palette index, and you can use it next time. Like, I love the peach of this rose with the fuchsia of this carnation. So I'll write that down in a little book, or when I take a picture of this, I'll make a note. And it's also kind of in my memory. It's like, you know what? That's a really cool combination. It's not your typical purple and red. It's like a little off, a little different. So, and I love the way these look like peaches. It like makes me want to put some peaches in this design or around the table. I look forward to seeing you 4 p.m. next Wednesday if you can make it. Happy designing. Bye.